Good afternoon, guys. It's Mr. Morrison here. I want to start off by saying hello to all of you. All right. I hope you're doing well and keeping safe. Today I got a little lesson for you, and it is to find the volume of the rectangular prism. Over here, you can see are my two prisms, examples of prisms. And let's look at a definition real quick. They're three-dimensional figures that have a length, a width, and a height. Length, a width, and a height. A prism is a three-dimensional figure with two parallel bases. Okay, and they're congruent. So there's a base and there's a base. They're parallel. They don't touch, and they're congruent. This is equal to this. What does volume mean? Well, volume is the amount of space inside the prism. So we could take this three-dimensional figure and to the definition of volume is to see how much can we fill it up with. We could fill it up with a liquid like water or gasoline or something like that, or we could fill it up with rice, beans, things like that until we get to the very top. All right, that is the definition of volume. We have two formulas that help us calculate it when the size of the container is too big to measure any other way. So we could use the first formula, length times width times height, or the second formula, base times height. Okay, base times height. Okay, or we could just multiply length times width times height. Sauce. Now, let's do a couple of examples. Our first example is going to involve the first formula where we have a length, a width, and a height. Here's our figure, and these are the designations. Let's see what the question asks. Determine the volume of a container that measures 8 inches long, 4 inches wide, and 5 inches high. Easy? All right, so the first thing I want to do is label my length is 8. My width, it says, is 4, and the height is 5 inches. Okay? Awesome. Now the next thing, since it says determine the volume, I'm going to come over here, and I'm going to use yellow here, and I'm going to start with my formula. Who remembers the formula? Volume equals length times width times height. Very nice. The next thing I want to do is substitute these numbers into the formula. Okay? All right, let's do that. So for the length, yep, it's 8 times the width, which is 4, times the height, which is 5. And then I just multiply across like this. 8 times 4 times 5. Just go straight across, left to right. So first thing I'd get is 8 times 4 is 32. And then I multiply it times the 5. And I get 160 inches. And I put cubed instead of 2. And the reason I use the 3 is because of I have one, oops, let me do that over. I have 1, 2, 3 dimensions, and that's the reason why this is 3 right here. Okay, box your answer, and you've done a great job. On our second example, again, we have another rectangular figure. We can see here that nothing's been designated for us yet. So let's read the question, and then we can go from there. All right. So it says determine the volume of a container that has an area of the base of 60 inches squared and a height of 4 inches. Well, let us see. I think the first thing I would want to do is label my length, width, and height. So let's say that this is the length, the width, and the height. We want to stay consistent with what we were doing earlier. Now the next thing, let's put some numbers here. It says the base is 60. Ooh, I'm confused. So I'm going to skip that. I'm going to go to height is 4. So over here, I know that the height is 4. That's an easy one. All right, now I need to just figure out how can I designate the base. Well, if you remember in the previous drawing, the base is the two parallel areas. So one of them could be this one, right? And the other one could say be, let me change colors. Let me use pink and see if that works. The other one could be this one up here. That would be the one opposite, right? From the bottom would be this one at the top. Okay, so it says here that the base is 60. So down here, I know that I've got this whole base is 60 inches squared, which means, okay, which means that the base has already been calculated for me, length times width, base equals 60. So I don't need to do that part. Now that they've made it easier for me. I go back to my formula. Volume equals base times height. Well, I already know that the base is 60 inches. And I know that the height is 4 inches. Look at that. This is an easy one now. Multiply 60 times 4. I'll give you a little time. Yes, it is 240 inches. And don't forget, we have 3 dimensions, so we put cubed. Awesome. There we go. And that is our answer, which we box. And you have done a great job. Okay. Again, this is Mr. Morrison. I've just done a couple examples for you. Look through them a couple of times, and if you have any questions, call in on my Google Meets. I meet on Tuesdays and Thursdays, so just look for my times in the Google Classroom. Okay? Awesome, guys. Take care. See you later.